Hey, everybody, this is Ramon Ray, founder of smarthustle.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast, this discussion, this article. If you're reading it, I was going to say if you're watching this video, but we're not using video on this one, but listening to the sound of my voice, definitely, I would appreciate it so much if you can give us a rating, a review, maybe put a comment if you're listening to this, share it with somebody else. Reach out to me and let me know that you're listening to it and that this really has helped your business. But we're here to inspire and educate small business owners to start and grow their businesses here at smarthustle.com. I have here with me today Bob Sullivan, who's an entrepreneur, business owner that I've met before, have got to learn from him, and I'm so excited to bring Bob here again and share his insights with us. Bob, good morning, good afternoon. It depends on where you are or the listener is, but I hope, Bob, that you are well. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Great to be here and great to have this discussion.
Absolutely. Anytime we can talk about business or I'm sure for many of us family, we're good. So thanks for being here, Bob. Why don't you, Bob, just start off and tell us the full name of your business and help us unpack a bit today who you serve, what problem you're solving, so we get a sense of a little bit of who's Bob and then a little bit of the company. Feel free to unpack that a bit.
Yeah, definitely. So Bob Sullivan, I'm the founder of Vector Solutions. And we really started as kind of a general marketing firm, as a digital marketing firm about 3 years ago, getting leads for our customers and helping them grow their revenue. About 3 years ago, what we discovered is we were running into issues that a lot of marketing firms have just generally in the space. Is what we found out is that, they get leads for these businesses that they serve, and then the businesses talk about lead quality or people actually purchasing the services. So really what we did is we built a system from the ground up that really helps these businesses, once they get new digital leads, being able to work those leads and have everything tracked from when the lead comes in all the way through to revenue in the door. So who we serve are really B2C type customers that are services based. So we started in the medical spa space. So think of aesthetics, Botox, etc. And from there, we've expanded to really many different service type companies. So everything from pest control to lawn services, plumbing, electricians, etc. And what we focus for them is getting them good digital leads that then they can work in our system to increase the revenue.
Got it. And based on the conversation we had before, I want to unpack that aspect of leads a bit because I think it's important to people. It seems, and you correct me, Bob, if I'm wrong, but there's two sides to this problem. Well, there's three sides. One is the actual selling, but one, getting the lead. Maybe anybody can do it. Maybe anybody can't, but getting the lead. It could be a pop-up, a billboard, whatever it is, getting the lead. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, as we discussed, the second challenge of it then, that lead came in, you're in the field, you're busy, you have a second phone in your hand, you're asleep, whatever it is, responding to it in quote unquote, in a good way, working that lead to either disqualify them or they buy from you or more nurture. Am I right in how I remember our conversation last time?
Yes, 100%. So they both kind of feed together. So let me actually talk about the second piece first, and then we can talk more about getting the lead. But really, that's what we found is there was a Harvard business study that came out about a year ago that really showed the time to pick up, the time to call when a lead comes in is critically important. So it's down to actually the first 5 minutes. When a digital lead comes in, calling them within the first 5 minutes creates a 10 times higher pickup rate for that lead. And so what we found is, you have some clients that might take, not even talking 5 minutes, might take a day, 2 days or longer to call that lead. Well, that lead's moved on. I mean, they have other things on their mind. You know how busy we all are. And so they might have been interested in a service yesterday, but they probably even at that point could have gone to a competitor. So really what our system does is it automates that piece of it and tracks to make sure, like you mentioned, that clients are calling their leads consistently and quickly to help with that first pickup rate.
Got it.
And then from getting the leads too, one of the things that our system does is that it actually has a closed loop feedback. So everything that's done in the system is actually fed back to the different platforms to help increase getting more leads like the ones that purchase. So that using the system also helps inherently with the lead quality.
Got it. No, that's a very good. And you're in a business where it's like kind of, you're the firefighter to firefighters, meaning, you have to be on your game. Meaning you need leads, you need this, you're in business. So let's talk and shift the page a bit, Bob, to what are some of the best practices? And I definitely want to acknowledge Zoho. We'll get to them particularly in a minute, or we can now, but definitely you're a Zoho customer and they've brought us together to kind of share how you're rocking it and learning from people. So Bob, what are you doing right? And again, as you've hinted and mentioned, the economy the past year has had a bit of a downturn. So I'd love to hear about your leadership, or if you had to cry a bit and just suck it up and, and get back in the game, or I'd love to hear much as you want to share just on that personal side, but talk to us then about what you're doing right. What you say, Ramon, here's what I can share with other small business owners, how we've grown, pandemic or not, because I know you guys have grown, so that's an anomaly that all of us have faced. But overall, help us understand what's Bob done in Vector Systems to grow and do well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, as you mentioned before, starting with the pandemic last year, we originally, like I mentioned, were specifically in the medical spa space, which is, as many people said, were quote non-essential businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So that did cause a pretty big downturn for us. Really, what I'd say is one of the biggest things that we did right is we didn't just kick our feet up or try to, ride out that pandemic. We took that time to really relook at how people were using the system we had at the time, and really go through and redevelop everything based off of the feedback that we'd gotten over the past 2 years. So it was a perfect time to reset from a technology and business process standpoint and really set ourselves up for growth. So an example here is that, by us doing that, we have been able to grow, 200, 300, 400% without having to grow our staff, because we just continue to automate and continue to be efficient, as a company. So that's one of the big things, is if you're able to automate as you grow, so you don't run into an issue of, us onboarding, as example, we're onboarding 10 new clients in the last couple of days. We're able to do that and without having to grow and add additional expenses. And then the other thing from a pipeline, from our, like when you mentioned, like from us finding new clients,
Right.
is us being specifically in kind of that digital marketing space. The space is so saturated right now. So if you're any kind of small business owner, and if you're on Facebook or Google, you get so many, I would say, ads of
Absolutely.
potential marketers who say, oh, we can bring you 20 new clients a month, or they always do the how many clients can we get you a month. And what's interesting is, we watch that very closely to make, to see, are we, where are we different? And
Right.
the biggest thing is that we aren't just getting leads, we're giving us really a full system to work. So one of the things that we really did right is we actually now are partnering with local marketing agencies, because
Wow.
it's truly a unique, we don't step on their feet, right? We don't do website design. We're very much in a very narrow portion of this process. And a lot of these marketing firms don't have, I'd say none have a system like ours,
Right.
where then they can show their clients additional revenue using our system. So one of the things that's really allowed us to grow recently has been actually working with these type of marketing firms and just adding our services to their offerings, and that's continuing to grow as well for us.
Well, that is smart partnerships. I mean, I'm reading John Lee Dumas's book, The Common Path to Uncommon Success.
Mhm.
Slightly different than what we're talking about, but relevant. And one thing, if you those who don't know John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, one of the most popular podcasts in the world, top X business podcast. Point is, he talks about that, Bob. So I think that's a huge tip for any of us. Find ways you can partner. Whether you call it white label or otherwise, and think, hey,
Right.
we won't touch this sector of your business. We'll make you look good, is what I'm hearing. That's one. Then two, this automation. Let's dive into that, Bob, a bit more. I think that's really interesting. And I guess as I've heard before, as I've talked to so many leaders, automation for those who are already being scared. I don't know if you can hear this, Bob. People are already pushing back, but it doesn't mean everything has to be literally no touch. I think what I'm guessing it means is that no, Bob can pick up the phone, or one of his staff can send a manual email, but the automation I think happens. It helps ping you at the right time. It alerts you to this, maybe adds a task. And some things could be fully automated, but why don't you unpack a bit, if you can, think of an example maybe of like, hey, Ramon, here's a process that we can automate, and then feel free. If this is where Zoho comes in or helping with this, feel free to mention how they're helping you do this as well, if this is the relevant opportunity.
Yeah, I think I can probably put that together pretty easily. So, one of the biggest things when we talk about automation is let's talk about analytics specifically.
Hmm.
So, if we have all this client data of many over 60 clients that are all using the system daily, and we need to be watching and tracking that again to make sure that calls are being made, that the lead quality truly is where it needs to be.
Right.
One of the biggest pieces when we talk automation is monitoring our accounts. And so an example here is instead of waiting for a client potentially to call us and say, hey, we're not happy, we're not getting the revenue we expected, et cetera. We actually have smart alerts that are set up daily to our client services team of here are the clients that potentially might have an issue down the road. And so what that does is it's still 100% of what you said is like, we don't want to just try to no touch everything, but this is an example of we use automation, smart analytics to notify our team before there is a fire.
Mm.
There might just be a little smoke, a little smoldering, and let's get in front of that
Yes.
before it becomes an issue or a cancellation or what have you. And that to me is a big piece of the automation, but then also the human touch, which is needed. It's not just if someone's not calling their leads,
Right.
that's a conversation where we get on the phone with them. What's happening?
Hmm.
Is there potentially something with the system? Is it truly, like you mentioned, somebody saying they're too busy? And that's just, then we have a rediscussion of expectations of what they want to get out of the system and how they're using it.
Absolutely. And I think one thing I've seen some of the marketers do, and let me know if this is kind of, if I'm on the right track here, is that when they do even surveys, they'll say, was our service good? Could you rate us on Google? If you say no, they don't take you to Google, not in a bad way, not in a malicious way, but they take you then back to their customer support. What went
Right.
wrong? If it's like you've done it good, they're like, great, go to Google and hit that 5 star. Something like that is what I'm hearing. Like as Jay Bear, right, Hug Your Haters says, his great book, and I hope people look at that. If the 90% of your customers that are rocking, doing great, love you, not that you're not paying attention to them, keep serving them, do what you're doing, but you want to know that one or two that's like, Bob didn't say good morning to me today, or metaphorically, you
Right.
want to know that customer so you can say, I'm so sorry. Am I hearing you right, Bob?
Exactly, and it's even before yeah, again, it's even before they might think or know that there's an issue. That's where we're trying to get to it, using the data, being smart about it, where it's not a big manual effort from anyone. It's letting the system kind of track. Here are the key metrics that we know
Right.
need somebody needs to be successful. If they're falling off on that, then let's even know even before they might even think there's an issue, because not all these clients look at their revenue every single day
Hmm.
because it fluctuates. um, we don't want to get to the end of the month and then have to have a conversation about usage and revenue. Let's get ahead of it. So
Absolutely.
it's even going up the pipe a little bit more.
No, for sure. I know there's a few tools that you use that are Zoho powered. Zoho has so many tools. I think by now, what, 4 million tools? I'm joking,
Right, right.
but they have a number. Can you unpack a bit if you had to think of some of those key? I know Zoho One is one that many small businesses are using, but what are some of those key tools, Bob, that you're using? And maybe how do they play into or not play into some of the discussion we've had so far? Anything you can think of, Ramon? Here's if I had to close my eyes, here's an overview of how Zoho's helping your business. What kind of tools are you
It
using?
would this would actually be a very long conversation if we had to go this way. So I'll
Pick one
highlight
of your
some.
favorite children.
Yeah, exactly. We about three right early when we started the company,
Mhm.
we used a lot of different tools from different vendors. Microsoft, other CRM
Sure.
systems. I mean, so many different vendors, and we've been on a journey over the last since we've started to move everything possibly that we can into Zoho One. So we are a Zoho One customer, which again, it's incredible the value. So I think we use over 30 different Zoho products as our own company. So it's everything from our client subscriptions, our website, our email system. I mean, you name it, it's in Zoho for us. And then we also we're a partner. So the platform that I've talked about that our clients use is actually Zoho Vertical CRM. So we've basically used Zoho's tools to make this highly customized and highly streamlined product for our clients, and that's what we deliver. And I would say the biggest piece of that, and actually using all Zoho or not, is the analytics side that we've talked about a little bit.
Hmm.
Being able to pull together subscription data, Facebook data, Google data, website data, really being able to pull all that together and look at different statistics, both internally and for our clients, has been just a huge game changer. When I talked automation before, and then also um, just being able to look across that. So, having analytics for both our internal business functions and our clients has been something that, I would have never imagined before. And the platform is able to really give us that power to really see how we're doing both as our company and our clients.
Absolutely. And I think there is, it's amazing how I think apps are like software, Bob. I was talking to the founder of Zapier some time ago. Some people may choose to use two or three or four different apps, string them together. I think the benefit of an app like tool like Zoho One, as you're finding, is everything is integrated. Or you may find one or two, no need to mention it, tools that, Ramon, you know what? We're going to use this one. It's, as they call it, best of breed, and everything else will be on the Zoho stack. In your case, it sounds like everything is, but it's amazing how in small businesses, I think what I'm hearing from you is there's a platform you pick, which is important for sure. And you've definitely
Right.
signed on to Zoho, which is amazing, but also how you're using it. And so I think the lesson for those listening to us, hey, listen, if you're not using a particular application, at least figure out how to get the most out of it and automate it. Or if you're not happy with what you're using, Bob likes Zoho. So you may want to check that out if that's your fancy as well.
It goes down to just having the strategic thought when you pick what apps you're using. And again, if the strategic thought for what works best for you is best of breed, then there are there are benefits of that.
Sure.
Or using one main application stack. So yeah, we definitely went the route of combining and consolidating, and those were the benefits for us. But it goes back to not just jumping into contracts with different vendors. It's
Sure.
just having a plan about it, which then also helps with automation and having strategy around what you're using.
Absolutely. I want to put you on the spot a bit, and and feel free if you don't if you don't like the question, I'll just delete it. Nobody will hear it. But if you're hearing this right now, Bob didn't mind the question, and you're hearing this. So, but how much has the Zoho economy played a role in you working with Zoho and et cetera? I know that Zoho has this DNA and Sridhar and Raju and the executive team and for years, and not tracking our customers and just kind of this Zen-like company. Has that, and I say that because I know that many millennials, young people, you and I seem like a bit older guys, but meaning young people kind of, what are they about? What's the company about? Are they saving the whales?
Right.
So my point being, is that con any part to play with using Zoho, or has it been pure about the feeds and speeds and data, or is that somehow knowing in the background? I know the mojo of this company. Curious.
Yeah. I've listened to a lot of corporate mission vision statements from large companies that I've worked with before in the past, and hearing Zoho's mission and vision actually is something that I took internally after I've heard it a couple times now. I took internally to our team, and it's just such a different set of core values. It definitely, I would say I'm more of an evangelical person about Zoho, because it isn't, an executive getting on stage and showing how much revenue they've
Yes,
made and how
yes.
much they've made their stockholders. It's how they truly are looking to impact their communities and their culture, or and their overall country, and potentially even the United States as well.
Sure.
So I would say that actually it hasn't changed how I work with Zoho,
Right.
but it has changed how, like, getting on these type of conversations and everything else, because I really truly believe in their mission and vision, and it's just having it be so unique to compared to everything else I've ever seen from a software company.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah,
Bob,
it's
this has been
incredible.
amazing. And I think lessons learned, I think for all of us today, automate as much as you can. I think too, I love what we talked about, the power of partnerships. How can you partner with others that you may have thought were your competitors or not? I think that's two. I think three, integration, for most people is the right way to go. You may not get every application to do one 100%, but as they say, I've heard this for a few years, if you can get it to do 80% of what you want, you're on the right path. So integration is the third thing I'm hearing. And I think four, you're doing this for your own customers, Bob, and your customers are doing this for their customers. Before there's a problem, have the analytics of the triggers, whatever you want to call it, up to understand what's happening before it happens. But Bob, this has been an amazing discussion. Anything you wanted to mention or that I didn't ask you, or a thing you wanted to share before we end this discussion? And feel free to please recap again your full name, title, company name, and website, how people can reach you who are hearing this. They may want to contact you to help them with their marketing solution. So feel free to brag a bit about yourself. Feel free.
Yeah, definitely. Again, this has been a great conversation. Again, this Bob Sullivan with Vector Solutions. We help B2C service-based businesses increase their revenue through digital marketing, but true business automation. And our website is govector.solutions.
Awesome. Bob Sullivan, thank you so much. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ramon Ray, founder of smarthustle.com. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, watching this art, looking at this article, or seeing our blog post, seeing it on social media, definitely could you comment? Could you give us a review? Give us a rating? Share it with somebody else? Let us know. Let me and Bob know that you're listening to us wherever you're hearing the sound of my voice or watching this article. We'd appreciate it. And remember, at smarthustle.com, we aim to inspire and educate small business owners to start and grow successful businesses at smarthustle.com.